I'm Greg Garbus of Four Season Tools. We're getting ready to skin this 30 by 48 stationary high tunnel with 2 layers. It also has a ridge vent, which complicates things slightly. What we've done is we took a 50 by 100 foot piece of plastic, we laid it all the way out flat, and then we folded it over on itself for the 2 layers. We took a tape measure, we measured from the roll bar on the hip board of this side, up and all the way up to the peak of the ridge vent and down to the ridge vent roll bar. So we're going to get 3 pieces of plastic out of this first sheet. We're going to get the roll-up ridge vent, we're going to get the roof plastic on this side of the ridge vent, and we're going to get the roll-up side on this side of the structure. Our measurement ended up being about 30 feet, so we cut it to about 30 feet 8 inches to make sure we had enough room. Before we cut it, we also measured the other side and made sure that the balance of that, the 29 feet 4 inches, was going to be enough. 19 feet 4 inches was going to be enough to make sure that we could skin that other side. That'll be the roof plastic on the other side and the roll-up side on that side of the structure. We've got all the sharp edges taped with duct tape to make sure that we don't rip any of our plastic, especially some of the ones at the very top of the ridge vent that we want to make sure we don't tear it while we're pulling this thing strong. We've laid out a bunch of wiggle wire. We have some on our plastic attachment wire. We have some on the inside of the structure and some on the end walls. We also have some ready for this side of the structure. We took some stuff to put underneath our plastic. We can use tennis balls. We just happen to use clumps of rocks that were wrapped in duct tape, something that doesn't have any sharp edges. We put it on the underside of the plastic, and we made a little slip knot out of our rope, tied our rope around it and cinched it on, and that's something that's going to bite onto the plastic. We've got 4 ropes for the 48-foot structure. We're going to have 1 person on each rope. We've also got ladders set up at the peaks on both ends of the building. That way, when we can pull it up, we can make sure that we get that plastic to the peak on both sides. Once it's up and over, we're going to pull it taut along the length of the structure from both directions to make sure that we have it tight there. And then the first piece of plastic attachment wire we're going to put in is going to be all the way up at the very peak of the ridge vent. We're going to put a piece of wiggle wire in at the top up there, and then we're going to leave enough of a flap to make sure that we can get our roll-up ridge vent as well. After that top piece is in, up there with our scaffolding, we'll attach our roll bar. We'll come back to this side, we'll pull it down and tight and put it in the top edge of this double plastic attachment channel. When we get to the corners, we'll make sure that we meet at the corners, so we've been working this way and down the edge at the same time, pulling it as we go to make sure we have it nice and tight. If you've got a single layer of plastic, you need to get it really tight to make the plastic last longer. When you have 2 layers of plastic, it's not quite as important because they are air inflated. Well, we will be adding an air inflation blower and several jumper hoses to make sure we air inflate the whole structure. We're ready to start. We're getting ready to put plastic on this 30 by 96 with a ridge vent. So we have a couple things that we have staged. We now have our hangers on top of our roll lock. We've put our roll bar in place. We only had enough hangers for the first 48 feet of roll bar, so we're doing the middle 48 feet of the tunnel first. Our double plastic attachment channel is in place. We also have several pieces of wiggle wire ready to put in. We've set up some staging right here, some scaffolding, so we've got a place to easily walk back and forth to do this. The plastic's over on the other side. It's 2 layers of plastic. So we went ahead and we've got 2 layers. We're pulling them up together. We tied the ropes onto the plastic. We put a soft ball on the side of it so that when we pull it up, that we have something to secure the ropes to the plastic with. The first piece of plastic is going to come all the way up over the ridge vent purlin. It's going to come down and go all the way to this roll bar. The first piece of wiggle wire that we're going to put in is the wiggle wire that goes right into the top plastic attachment channel. And once we have it tight, we'll make sure that the guys are pulling it strong, pulling it nice and tight towards both of the end walls. And then we'll continue to put our plastic attachment channel or our wiggle wire in all along the ridge vent purlin. After that's in, we're going to come back and we'll put that plastic attachment channel into our roll bars. We're ready to start. All right, we're getting ready to pull plastic. Here we go. We got a couple of us here up on top of the ropes. We've got ropes on the 2 far ends. In the middle, we got somebody who's got a soft-sided broom, so that as we pull it up, if it catches on anything, we can pull it up and over. What we're going to do is we're going to try to all pull it together on a count. Try to make sure we get it up nice and smooth. Two layers of poly, they're all tied together. We're pulling the factory edge up first. And we're going to pull in 1, 2, 3, pull. 1, 2, 3, pull. Alright, stop. We got to get that right over there. So as we catch on something, we want to make sure we go up and over it, nice and slow. 1, 1, 2, 3, pull. 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 Alright, we're going to readjust a little bit. And on the ends, once we get it in the right location, we're going to tie it off and get them up on the ladders and make sure we hand them the two ends of the plastic. Alright, 1, 2, 3, pull. 1, 2, 3, pull. 1, 2, 3, pull. Okay, we're up and over here. Up and over here. Alright, so now we're going to try to find the tree. We're getting ready to put roof plastic underneath the ridge vent for this 30 by 48 structure. It's a heated structure, so we'll have 2 layers of plastic. Previously we had talked about trying to, or when we put on that roof plastic, putting our head through this ridge vent, getting ready for this other roof plastic piece. We're doing several different structures, so on this building we decided to try to put the piece of plastic in between the roll lock and the double plastic attachment channel on now before we put on the roof plastic. It does look like it sped things up a little bit. There is a chance it might leak a little bit more, but I think the verdict is good that this really is a nice approach. So what we did was we cut a piece of plastic that was tall enough to go from the roll lock to the double plastic attachment channel, and we went ahead and while we had our ladders set up on the front side, we put this piece of plastic in. We also, as we went, we put in all of our eye bolts, which will be used for our rope wall. On the far end, we tied it off to the rope hook on the top of the structure, and as we went along putting this piece of plastic in, we put the rope through all the eye bolts. Now that we have it tied off here, we can come down. I can tension this rope. I can come up, go around the far side of the rope hook. I'm going to loop it around twice. If you want to, you can also twist it around itself to give you a little bit of a bite. Go down. It's going to go. We'll keep some tension on the rope as it goes through the next eye hook, and then keep that up on the rest of the rope hooks to install the outer rope wall, and do that now. It will be in the way a little bit when we're pulling up the plastic, but as long as we make sure our ladders are set properly, it should work well. We also have our ropes here that are set up, getting ready to pull our roof plastic up from the other side, and now it's time to get the sheet ready. We're continuing to put up 2 layers of plastic on this 30 by 48 building with a ridge vent. We've already talked about how to put the roof plastic on the other side and everything we need to do up at the ridge vent to get ready. This is the piece of roof plastic that we're going to put on. We've measured from the bottom of the roll bar all the way up to the double plastic attachment channel on the underside of the ridge vent to know that we've got the piece that's the right length. We have 4 different ropes that are tied to this building with 4 people ready to pull it up. We flaked this plastic, or kind of folded it like an accordion. So we folded it over itself so that as we pick this up, we don't have to fight the plastic and it just comes right unfolded as we go. Now that we've got everything ready, we've got all of our ladders set, we're going to go ahead and start getting this thing pulled up. We'll get it to the top edge, then we'll pull it away from the center of the structure to get it tight, and the first piece of plastic attachment channel we're going to put on is going to be right in the center. Okay, we're ready to pull up the plastic on this building. We're going to pull it all up together nice and slow, and anybody can yell stop if you start getting caught on anything. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, pull. 1, 2, 3, pull. 1, 2, 3, pull. Keep going, let's just keep going, it's going smooth. No, not yet. Stuck right down in the water. It's all got to come up. Even the nice people or only the bad pilots? No, not yet. You have some in the middle down there too. So I guess you could take it out and then take out the both pieces there and then hold it.